Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Eric here in the school garden once again, and we are back for an official September garden tour. If you're new to our channel, thank you for stopping by. Make sure to click the subscribe button, like this video, share this video, comment if you care to, and don't forget to click the notification bell to be notified when we drop videos, which is every single week. And for those that have already continued to be a part of our journey in all of our gardens, thank you for coming back for another video. Well guys, in today's video, I'm actually here in the garden. We just wrapped up a garden session with about 10 students, and they did a few things here on this side. They worked on the other side of the greenhouse, and then they started new seeds inside of the greenhouse. So I'm going to take you around the garden, show you what has been done, what's being planned for future garden sessions in the next few weeks, and show you a little bit of the growth, and we'll be done. But let's get started. It's such a beautiful day in the garden. So we purchased some cabbage and cauliflower starts from our local garden center, and that's what you see right there. We have one row, 4 plants of cabbage, purple cabbage. And we purchased the purple cabbage because we've never really successfully grown purple cabbage even from seed. Like, we've grown it to about this stage, but it never left this stage. So hopefully by us just transplanting from this stage, we will achieve a full head of of cabbage. We also purchased cauliflower. That's what you see right there. And then all of the rest of these plants are plants that students started themselves. So we have some Napa cabbage, Swiss chard, some mustard and kale, and one lucky Brussels sprout. So I think the students have done such a great job. They did all of this themselves, planting it out. I just laid them down. They did the planting, they did the watering, all that good stuff. I did just come back and give all the plants a good watering again, because you want to make sure that your plants, have some water to drink while they are becoming acclimated to their new home. In the last few weeks, students have been cleaning up this entire bed in preparation for today, and I've been trying to drill it into their head. Like, I know it's a lot of work, I know it's hard, but you're gonna see the fruit of your labor, because look at how neat and nice this is now. Look at that. The students have done such a great job. We have I did finish up doing some of this stuff for them because they had to go to their next class, but I planted 3 rows of collard greens. I did 4 rows of Pablo lettuce. I did sprinkle in some what's it called? I sprinkled in some of this early bush scallop pumpkin. Well, squash. Well, pumpkin squash. I sprinkled it in here, so hopefully when it grows, it bushes out. And we're going to continue removing weeds so that it can follow a path throughout this area. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, because we're going to do a video, and Dr. Banks, who's the executive director, is out here in the garden today. She's going to be a part of our harvesting video, so you'll get to see her and I harvest some plants, well, some vegetables and herbs for a family that we serve here in the community, and we'll be donating that produce today. It'll be about 2 bags worth, because we already harvested yesterday, but it's more to be harvested today. But yeah, that's everything right now in the garden. You see the little butterfly. We still have zinnias growing. We have an eggplant that almost got killed, and a lot of our tomatoes got eaten back by a hornworm. It was a super large hornworm that was here in the garden on this side, and it ate some of the eggplant, but it's still growing right there. You see the little flower there. We still have this tomato that's putting out flowers, and on the other side of the garden, I'm going to show you our container garden where everything is really taking off. We have our banana peppers here, which has to be harvested because there's so many, and you see how it's weighing down the other plants. This is our serrano pepper. It has to be harvested now because it's heavy and I can't. Oh my gosh, try not to tear it. Okay, I may have to put a stake in here because it's a lot. Yeah, it's gonna fall again. Okay, anyway, but we have banana peppers all throughout here, as you see, that need to be harvested. The serrano pepper needs to be harvested. I think some bell peppers are back there, and our sweet, what's it called? Pretty and sweet peppers are back there, but we'll harvest that today. I tried to break apart this basil, but we don't have any more basil in the garden, and I wasn't going to start anymore. I think maybe I don't know, maybe I can prick some off and have it start to grow new roots, but I don't think so because these have fully gone to seed and the bumblebees have been all over these plants. But we still have dark opal basil that I can pick from, so that's a plus. As you see the little bumblebee there. But yeah, and this is an area where we wanted to, oh no, they picked up the collard green. There was a collard green growing here, but I think the students accidentally removed it. Oh well. But we still have sweet marjoram over here. We got our artichokes over there. I think we're going to start some more artichokes because I really want this to be like a little artichoke patch in itself. This okra will be removed very soon. We're just going to let it grow to get the last few bits and pieces of okra that we can get out of it before the weather completely changes. We still have some baby turnip greens over here. And over here, we finally did something with our raised bed. If you haven't seen the videos, I'm putting a link up in the corner. You can go watch that video. This is the bed that the students and I did when we had our lessons on hugelkultur. And you can watch that video now if you pause this one. But we finally put sweet potatoes in here. I know sweet potatoes should have been planted, but we had sweet potatoes growing in the greenhouse and we just needed somewhere to put them. So, I mean, even if we don't have a good harvest of sweet potatoes this year, at least the students know what the starting process looks like. And we also have some beets scattered in here, so we'll have some root crops as well. Other root crops going along with them. I don't know, again, if you guys follow us on TikTok, we did an experiment where we removed the grapes that were in the ground. Since they weren't doing much, we decided to put them in the containers, and you see how much more they've grown. Like, look at that. This is not the growth that they were showing when they were in the ground, and it's remarkable. Again, we may not even have a harvest of grapes this year. Most likely we won't, but just to see the potential that we'll have next spring, next year, is pretty cool. Like, this is going to be so much bigger in the next few months. Really, it's already September. Come February, March next year, this will be so much bigger, and I can't wait because we're going to have our first round of harvest from our orchard. Around this time next year, we'll be harvesting grapes. We'll be harvesting apples and pears from the garden, from our orchard. And I think around the summertime, we'll have blueberries. So we'll do a video harvesting blueberries. We're going to do our best to fertilize the blueberries so that they grow even bigger and we have a good harvest. But in the next few months, this is going to be so much fuller. The trees are going to be fuller. And we're actually going to have a nice 2024 fruit harvest. All right, as we're moving over to the other side of the greenhouse, this is the area where we have some red beans growing. I got these seeds from my uncle. He has these growing at his place, and They were growing all over the fence, him and his neighbor's fence. Some were collected and given to me, and we planted them here with the students, and they are growing right here. Here, you see how beautiful they look. So we just pop these pods off, and they can be sauteed or boiled, broiled, pan fried, like in the stir fry. They are tender. I'm sure they cook very fast since they're so small. We harvest them small. If you wait too long for these types of beans to be harvested, then they'll be too stringy, and you would just have to save the seed and eat the actual seed. But they have sprawled out, and last week we had the students kind of help the plant attach itself to the fencing. So we have the beans all up and through here, and so we do have to harvest some of this stuff today. It grows back so fast. We already did a harvest a few days ago, and we already have more to harvest today. On this side, more students, another group of students rather, planted out more of our fall crops. We have more mustard greens over here, some Chinese cabbage, some Copenhagen cabbage, 2 of them, and we did 4 rows between all of these plants, and we did beets, radishes, and turnips. And so those should be popping up in the next week or so. We wanted to be able to utilize all of our space, so we had directly sown those seeds in today. Over here we have so many weeds. The butterflies and moths, they really like those little white flowers that you see there. So I kind of want to leave that. I think that is the morning glory, a type of morning glory variety of flower. There's a bee. I don't know if you guys can see that. You see that bee? Even the bees love the flowers. So I don't want to take away their food source, but I don't want this plant to like take over, because it's a bit much. But we do need to clean out all of this. It's providing too much shade to this area, and I want to add in some snap peas to this patch right here with that bag of soil. And I also want to have the students clean out this so we can add more of our fall crops that are in the greenhouse. So we have to clean out all of this. Once the beans finish in the next month or so, we will be able to move them out the way and put in some more plants, hopefully. I think what we'll do here in this small area, honestly, I don't think we're going to plant anything here. We still have Swiss chard there, but I mean, we'll just leave it. It'll come back, I'm sure. It honestly feels like our time with the seasons are dwindling down very, very fast, and it feels like we don't have enough time to get our plants out into the garden. I know it's really in my head, but it feels like time is moving at a rapid pace. So each garden session, I try to make sure that we get something planted out into the garden. We get some seed started in a tray so that we can have a very successful harvest come this fall and come next spring, when we are able to harvest all of our crops that we're putting in the garden right now. Walking over here, we have previously discussed how we want this area to be our beautification area in a sense. We actually transplanted our butterfly bush. It was actually in that container that's not blocking, but holding that door open. We just decided to put it here where the butterflies can have access to it, next to these zinnias. Come spring, come spring, early spring, once we get back in the garden after fall break, winter break, Christmas break, we'll have some hydrangea bushes and other flowering bushes and some lilies to put in the ground over here to fill up this space to make it more full. But everything is still looking good. We still have flowers for all the pollinators. Hello, Dr. Banks.
Hello, how are you?
All right, moving over here to our last area where we have our 6 rows, wind tunnel, and the container garden. We started cucumbers, and the last squash was zucchini. This is our straight yellow, I think it's the yellow straight neck squash. We already did one harvest. We need to water this with some fish fertilizer, and you see we got 2 more growing in there. This is a tomato bush. I don't remember the actual name of this tomato variety. Oh, there you go. It's the early girl hybrid tomato. So it's already pushing out flowers, and we'll be able to harvest from this in the next few weeks. Once it starts getting below 50 degrees at night, we're going to put this in the greenhouse so it will survive. We have our cucumbers here. We're going to do a harvest of our cucumbers today. Look at that, so pretty. We do need to, again, fertilize this one because the leaves are starting to turn a little yellow, and we don't want that. And then we have a few more cucumber plants over here. And then we have this cucumber that will be harvested today. And moving over here to our pepper container area, we have pretty and sweet peppers with some eggplants. And mostly all of these plants were moved from this area. I'm going to show you in a moment why. But we have some banana peppers, chili peppers, serrano peppers, bell peppers that will be harvested today as well. Look at that beauty. Like, look at these bell peppers. They are so big. They will be harvested today. Some banana peppers that will be harvested as well. And then the eggplants really took off. They weren't doing much. Again, they weren't doing much in the ground. But once we moved them to these pots, they are putting on new flowers. So we'll still be able to harvest from these plants before winter, which is really good. So moving over to our row area. This area, as you have seen in previous videos, this area is not doing so well. We've been growing in this area for going on 5 years now, and the plants grow, you know, they have a full life over here, but they are not reaching their fullest potential, and I'm not sure why. Well, I know why. The ground just needs to be tilled. We really need to add a lot more organic matter to this area, because we have not tilled whatsoever. We haven't even aerated the soil with, you know, like with the pitchfork where you stick it in, you move it back and forth gently, just letting like the oxygen to come into the ground through those holes. So all we've done was, over the past 5 years, was add compost, add the blood meal, add the worm castings to the beds. And as you see, the beds look nice, they look full, but for some reason the plants do not reach their fullest potential, especially in those. Well, the tomatoes did well, but in this row, in that row at the end, a lot of the plants don't do too well, and they don't like get big, and you know how we expect the plants to do. So we're gonna actually, starting next week, we're gonna take down this vertical trellis. A lot of the kale that's over here growing, that still looks good, and collards that still look good, they're gonna be transplanted to either to the other side of the garden or to buckets like we just showed you. And then we're gonna just get to work. We're gonna bring all of our tools out. We're gonna remove all of these trees that are trying to grow. We're gonna create an actual barrier for this area back there. And the barrier that is there, we're gonna clean it up to make it more pronounced. And we're going to till this area. We're going to remove the weeds, remove the grass, and just dig up like that first layer of soil. We're going to, as we do that, we're going to add in compost blood meal, bone meal, worm castings, and mix it all together. And I'm going to allow the students the opportunity to create their own types of rows. We're going to give them 3 types of rows that they can create, and then it's their job to choose how they want to move forward in that. But this area really needs some love and care, so that's what we're going to do. Moving to the last spot in the garden. You know, these beds, we haven't really worked on the beds in this wind tunnel, and as you can see, the roots from nearby trees have really taken over. And so this weekend, possibly, or next week, whenever I have the time, I'm gonna come and really get in here and remove all these roots, because look at that, that's crazy. All the trees that are nearby, especially this one, it's really sending all their roots to try to find a water source. So that's why the plants haven't done so well in these raised beds. So I'm gonna get to work on doing that. If you have any advice on how to work on removing roots from raised beds, let me know. But I know once we get it done, we'll see a big difference on how the plants grow in the wind tunnel. We're actually going to add in a new raised bed to that spot there. We'll probably do that next semester before we get started with our spring garden. But yeah, that's everything here in the greenhouse. Well, not the greenhouse, wind tunnel. Alright you guys, that's the video. Make sure to follow us on TikTok, because we're going to be posting a video soon of us harvesting all of the produce in the garden, from okra to beans to the cucumbers to the peppers. So make sure you follow us. Our TikTok is Project Grape. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at EBLLCINC, and also subscribe, like this video, and share it. And we'll see you guys later in the garden. Bye.